Yo, what is good everyone? OJ here. Welcome to another video. Today, we've got some great information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee sales numbers in Japan. The game sold 664,198 retail copies within its first 3 days of release in Japan, according to the latest Famitsu numbers. Now, just to know, guys, there are 2 separate tracking sources for sales in Japan. There is Famitsu, which we're going off of right here. Then there's also the Media Create. So I'll probably have a whole separate deal or talk about the Media Create sales charts in a live stream. So the number includes physical game copies, Pokeball Plus packs, download cards, and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee Switch hardware bundles. However, it does not include digital game sales. So since it doesn't include digital game sales, and this game is easily #1 on the Japanese eShop charts, I would just guess that the game sold over 700,000 copies in its first 3 days on the market if you include digital sales as well. Now, Splatoon 2 still remains the highest selling Switch title in its first 3 days in Japan, selling 670,955 units. However, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee came in at a pretty close second with its 664,000 units plus. Now, Nintendo Switch hardware sales also rose quite a bit, guys. The system sold 180,585 units between November 12th and the 18th, which is 3 times the 53,385 units it sold the previous week. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee launched on the Nintendo Switch on November 16th, and this is exactly what Nintendo needed with the sales numbers in order to at least attempt to get to where they want to get to next year. Still not sure if they're going to have to revise things or not, but either way, big sales, a lot of different stuff going on with this game, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. We got the UK sales numbers, we put the game at 116,000 units plus, and that's not including digital either. Now, if you combine that with this right here with Japan, other parts of Europe, we still need to wait for France and some of the other bigger parts of Europe when it comes to Nintendo game sales. On top of the US here, this game had a massive opening week and 180,000 units plus for Nintendo Switch hardware sales. That is a nice jump. And here's the thing about this, guys, which I've talked about before leading into the holidays. This is always what happens. There's that catalyst game that really just kind of gets things going, or just the holiday season, and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was definitely that. 180,000 units plus, and I think that it's just going to continue rising and pretty much get up to 200, 300,000 units, maybe even higher with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate coming out on December 7th. That's going to be a huge 1-2 punch for Nintendo for the holiday season in Japan, and of course the rest of the world, with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and also Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So it's really good to see these sales here, because a lot of people didn't think that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was going to do well because of all the backlash that some of the hardcore fans were kind of showing towards the game, review bombing, things like that, which I talk about in a later video. And I think that with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, even if you compare it to what Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon did, very comparable to the opening sales on a much smaller install base. You also have to realize that the Nintendo 3DS had a bigger install base, so to see it actually keeping pace with some of the other bigger Nintendo Switch games, and of course some of the Pokemon games that have released on the Nintendo 3DS when it comes to sales, because this isn't the game that's coming out next year, guys. This isn't the traditional normal core Pokemon game like a Pokemon Sun and Moon or an X and Y or something like that. It's a remake, and it's also kind of somewhat of a mainline spin-off, branch off from what Pokemon Go did, and infusing some more of the modern elements or some of the stuff that we've seen and adding in its own things. So I think Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee has really found its own identity outside of what you see normally with the Pokemon games, Pokemon Go, and it kind of has its own thing that's just charming and brought in people who necessarily didn't really want to play Pokemon Go, but wanted to play that type of experience, more of a light RPG experience with Pokemon in there. And I think it got those people, and I think they'll continue. This is really just the start. You're going to see sales ramp up heading into the holiday season. We saw this with last year. If you look at the sales for Splatoon, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, all of these games actually ramped up and got better and better as the weeks went on at the end of the year. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee continues to do in Japan and of course the rest of the world. And I can't wait to see how things were in France, because if the game sold 116,000 copies in the UK, I know that France earlier reported that they're going to have 450,000 units ready to go at launch. So I'm guessing that the game sold well into 200,000 or 300,000 in France alone, but we'll have to wait and see, maybe even more than that. We'll have to wait and see what Nintendo of France has to say on the matter. So what do you guys think about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee breaking over 664,000 units without counting digital? So probably 700,000 units in the first 3 days in Japan, in addition to the boost in hardware sales up to 180,000 units plus for the Nintendo Switch for the past week. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic, guys. I had to fit this in somewhere, and I'll probably make another video talking about it, or PE Live or something like that, because to me, this is easily one of the best third-party Nintendo Switch games, and it might just be my favorite Western. I'm probably thinking, yes, it's my favorite Western third-party game that I have played on the Nintendo Switch, and that is Warframe. I am absolutely blown away by what Panic Button has done with this game. It's just crazy what you can do. Let's just first start off with how the game looks. Obviously, Panic Button is known for taking these graphic-intensive games on the PS4 and Xbox One, like Doom and like Wolfenstein and all these games that people say that there's no way they can run on the Nintendo Switch, and they get them running on the Nintendo Switch. And this game is no exception to that, but this game, to me, actually even takes it up a notch, because not only can you see that there's a lot of visual shine and polish and a really good conversion of what you see on the PS4 and the Xbox One, but on top of that, you can actually change the graphic settings, which can affect performance. If you don't want certain things enabled, you can disable them and get better frame rates, less frame rate drops, all of that. There's so much more custom ability in this game with the graphics than we've seen for like a Doom or a Wolfenstein or anything like that. It seems like Panic Button has completely mastered the Nintendo Switch hardware to where they can say, okay, yeah, look at this really crazy game that runs on PC, all these graphic settings, PS4 Pro, whatever the case is. Oh yeah, we can take that, and while it might not look as good as the other systems, we can still get it going. This is like the miracle game, man. I am blown away by how good this game looks. It actually tripped me up when I was playing on my live stream last night. You guys can check out the replay on the channel. I have like 3 hours plus of gameplay, and I was just blown away by how nuts the game was and just how good it did look. And that's the thing that I want to see from Panic Button. I want to see them take more of these bigger RPGs and bring them over to the Nintendo Switch, because the cool thing about Warframe is all of the different stuff that you can do. It's free to play, guys. You don't have to pay anything for this game, and the amount of content that you get, yes, it can be a little bit of grind if you don't pay for certain things. I get that, but still, the amount of fun that you can have, the invite system with online multiplayer, you have PvP, you have events, there's all sorts of stuff going on. The amount of content that you can just get for free and have fun and play is just astronomical. And if you're looking at this game, it reminds me of like Mass Effect with Ninja. That's what people were saying in the chat, and that's what I was thinking too. You have melee weapons, you have complete custom control of your character, you have different types of guns, you have modifiers. There's all these different cool things that add to the element where we don't get a Mass Effect on the Nintendo Switch, right? But that's fine, because Warframe is like everything that Mass Effect was and a little bit more. But obviously the story and everything that's packed into Mass Effect is definitely better than what we see here in Warframe, but it's just cool to get this type of game. I mean, the movement options that you have in this game, the type of dodging and bullet time and just everything that's encompassing in this game, Warframe, that they're able to convert over to the Nintendo Switch and have it look and run as good as it does. I don't even know how Panic Button does it. Honestly, I don't know how Panic Button does it, but they really need to expand and get some more people on there. Now, talking about Warframe when it comes to it, I really wish there was some type of boxed normal version of Warframe that I can support the developers. I know they have their microtransactions or their in-game purchases or whatever you want to call it. They have their starter packs, but man, I would be so down to just have a boxed physical copy that says, here's a bunch of extra missions or blah, 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 more story. And I hope that they do that. I hope there's a Warframe 2 and they put everything that they have like this whole structure, but then also say, here is like 15 to 20 hours of story and set missions that we make that's not part of this whole online type of like chat and then kind of go in with other people, like story-based stuff that you can do single player or co-op, local co-op or online co-op, and kind of go through it. I want them to do that. But outside of that, guys, this game is absolutely amazing for free to play. This is the free to play game, and I think this is the best free to play game on the Nintendo Switch. That's how impressed I am with Warframe and what they've been able to do and the content that you get. It's not just going into battle royale. It's not just emotes and dancing and cosmetics. This is actual upgrades that you get to keep, that you can take into PvP, that you can take into co-op. It feels more meaningful than having a lollipop as your pickaxe when you go into a battle. I'm not trying to throw a lot of shade at Fortnite, but that was just my main issue, is that it's just all cosmetic. Why am I going to sit here and dump so much time into cosmetics when there's games like this to where you can actually get those upgrades? You can use them in PvP. You can use them in the single player. You can use them in co-op. There's just so much more options with this free-to-play game than we've seen from like Paladins or Arena of Valor or some of the other free-to-play games. This is the most content-rich one that we've seen. Built-in voice chat, built-in text chat, graphics options. This has it all. I'm blown away by how good this game is on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm really happy that they were able to bring it over. If you have not downloaded Warframe on the Nintendo Switch, go out there and download it. It's free if you have the system. It's always online game though, so you have to have the internet connection going. But man, I really want a box kind of like offline version of the game where they just kind of go through and create more story and missions. I'd be completely down for that in like a Warframe 2 or a whole separate expansion, and I'm hoping that they do that one of these days. So shout outs to Panic Button. Shout outs to the developers of the game for doing such a great job in getting this one over. It's fantastic. So those are my initial impressions. Obviously, it's really good. Maybe I'll do a full review. I'll do more Let's Plays, live streams. I'm going to be playing this game. I'm going to invite some of you guys in here, some of the Elite Ninja to play as well. So look forward to all the content that we do have coming on Warframe. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of Player Essence across the internet, in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages and consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube membership. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.